Horizon friends, it's official. We finally have a PC release date for Horizon Forbidden West. Plus, we got some new details, like tech being supported on PC and the breakdown of pre-order bonuses. Overall, definitely some really good news, but also a few slightly disappointing points I want to talk about, and some still unanswered questions we need to discuss. Plus, stick around to the end to learn about the giveaway I'm running for 2 pre-orders of the game. Now, the PC port was first officially confirmed back in September with the announcement of the Complete Edition of the game. But while the Complete Edition released on October 6th for PS5, at the time we were simply told early 2024 for the PC release. Well, now we have an actual release date, and it's Thursday, March 21st. The PlayStation blog post and accompanying trailer where this was announced also contains some interesting new details on features the PC port will have. And I don't think many people caught it, but there was actually another trailer that dropped at CES a couple of weeks ago highlighting NVIDIA integration specifically. Okay, so the PC port is coming March 21st, but how much is it and what do you get for your money? Well, in the US, it will cost $60, which I actually think is pretty solid considering the PS5 version cost $70 at launch, and the Burning Shores DLC was another $20 on top of that. The PC Complete Edition, which is what you'll buy for $60, bundles the base game and DLC. So you're basically getting $90 worth of content for $60. Actually, it's even a little bit better than that because you're also going to get some items that were exclusive to the Digital Deluxe and Special Editions of the game and pre-orders for the DLC. For example, everyone who buys the PC version, whether you pre-order or not, will get 4 pieces of extra gear: the Karja Behemoth and Nora Thunder Elite outfits, and also the Karja Behemoth Shortbow and Nora Thunder Sling. The Karja Behemoth Elite is actually a really solid early game outfit, so it's pretty nice to have. The other items aren't really anything too special, although the game does have transmog, so I suppose the Nora Thunder Elite gives you another outfit look to use from the start. In addition to this gear, you'll also get a resource pack, Claw Strider Machine Strike piece, which is a board game you can play in most of the settlements, a bit like how The Witcher 3 has Gwent, and an exclusive photo mode pose and face paint. So all that stuff is wrapped in the $60 purchase price regardless of if you pre-order or not. But there's also a few items that do require a pre-order, and a couple more that require purchasing on Steam specifically. The pre-order exclusives are the Black Tide outfit and Black Tide Sharpshot bow, which are actually a bit of an interesting pre-order bonus because these were the pre-order bonus items for the Burning Shore DLC on PlayStation. But you weren't able to get them until actually arriving in the Burning Shores, where you would purchase them from the merchants for 1 shard. I assume that's still going to be the case, and you can't head to the Burning Shores until finishing the main story in the base game. Now, the Black Tide gear is pretty cool, but these items aren't game-breaking or anything, so don't sweat it if you miss out on pre-ordering. In fact, the Black Tide Quen Commander outfit has literally the exact same stats as the regular Quen Commander. The only real benefit of the Black Tide version is that you get it for free. The Black Tide Sharpshot bow is nice since you pick it up for next to nothing, but it's definitely not the best bow in its class, and it's actually surprisingly expensive to upgrade, even compared to the legendary Gravesinger, which you can pick up from the same merchant. Oh, and you'll also get the Black Tide die, which you can use on a handful of outfits. So the Black Tide gear is for pre-orders, but the last couple items you can get are the Nora Legacy outfit and spear. The spear is only different cosmetically. Its stats are no different from the default champion spear. The outfit is totally unique, but it's only green rarity and it's not particularly good. Still, it's at least another cosmetic option. Now, if you want these, then you actually have to buy the game through Steam specifically and then link your Steam account to your PlayStation Network account. Kind of interesting since you can actually also buy Forbidden West on the Epic Games Store, but I'm not sure why you would when the only exclusive offer, at least currently, is through Steam. Also, if you're purely a PC gamer, then there's a good chance you don't even have a PlayStation Network account, so you'll have to set one up to claim these items. It's a little bit strange, but I think it's basically Sony trying to push their games more into the PC market, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see other integrations like this for other games too soon. Anyway, let's talk about the other details revealed in this announcement. Perhaps the most interesting new piece of info is the support for ultra-wide and multi-monitor display configurations. So if you have a 21:9 or a 32:9 monitor, the game will render natively at those ultra-wide and super ultra-wide resolutions. We're not just getting a black bar crop of some sort. You'll actually have additional pixels rendered, widening your view, which is actually pretty cool for a game like Horizon with its fantastic landscapes. What I find even more interesting though is support for what they're calling a 48:9 aspect ratio, which is really just 3 regular 16:9 monitors lined up. So if you've got a triple monitor setup, you'll be able to create a super immersive experience as well. This does open up some questions though. For example, I assume you'll need 3 monitors with the exact same resolution. I'm also super curious what kind of frame rates people will be able to run pushing all those pixels on 3 monitors. For example, 3 1440p displays add up to just over 11 million pixels, so 33% more than one 4K display. And of course, some of you out there are going to try to run 3 4K displays, which would be a whopping 24.9 million pixels. I'm not even sure a 4090 would be able to push 60 FPS on that, which brings us to a little bit of disappointing news. We still don't have minimum and recommended specs, which I'm really eager to find out, and I'm sure you guys are too. The good news is that at the very end of the blog post, it states more details about system requirements will be revealed in the coming weeks. Now, that could actually be quite soon, because there's been rumors circulating of a PlayStation State of Play event happening in early February. So it's possible by the time you're watching this that I've already made a video discussing the specs, in which case I'll link it in the pinned comment below. But even though we don't have specs yet, we have learned about some of the features being added to the PC version of the game. As expected, it will have support for NVIDIA DLSS, AMD FSR, and Intel XeSS upscaling technologies. And if you have an NVIDIA 40 series card, you'll be able to utilize DLSS 3 frame generation to boost frame rates. Forbidden West will actually be an interesting title for frame gen. As some of you might know, it can create ghosting and high motion gameplay. Of course, Horizon is an RPG with plenty of slow gameplay compared to something like an FPS, but combat can definitely get really fast, so I'll be interested to see how frame gen holds up. 40 series owners will also have the option to turn on NVIDIA DLAA anti-aliasing, which could very well be the best anti-aliasing option available for the game, and one of the features that makes a noticeable difference in quality over the PS5 version. While frame gen and DLAA will be restricted to 40 series owners, all PC players stand to benefit from the implementation of direct storage. There aren't many games out there using direct storage yet. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a bit of a poster child for it right now with its portaling mechanic, but in Forbidden West it should improve load times when fast traveling and ensure smooth transitions to cutscenes at a minimum. With a more robust implementation, which I'm hoping for, it would also help to increase render distance and proactively prevent pop-in. The final feature we have confirmation on is, quote, extensive controller support, including Steam input support and full support for haptic features on a PS5 DualSense controller. Although I did notice the footnote in the trailer indicating that we'll need to connect the DualSense with a USB cable for full support. Not sure what exactly you'll lose by connecting wirelessly. I'm sure many of you are also wondering about ray tracing support, and unfortunately we haven't heard any mention of it. So at this point, it does seem very likely that Forbidden West won't get any ray tracing features, at least not at first. It is a bit disappointing, as I think ray traced reflections and shadows would add something to the game. But the thing is, Forbidden West already looks so insanely good on PlayStation that I really don't think we're going to be missing out on much when we'll be able to render at even higher native resolutions and use potentially better anti-aliasing on PC. Even without ray tracing, I'm confident in saying Forbidden West will definitely be one of the best looking games on PC when it launches. And I do think it's possible we could see a future update pushed out to implement ray tracing features. I have to imagine Guerrilla is working to add ray tracing support and tools to their proprietary Decima engine, especially since they're now marketing it to other studios. Adding ray tracing support to Forbidden West in a future update would let them use the game as a showcase for Decima when marketing it. Speaking of developers, of course Guerrilla is heavily involved in bringing their own game to PC, but the primary porting studio is Nixxes. Nixxes has a great track record with porting PlayStation games to PC. For example, they handled Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and all the recent Spider-Man games. But most importantly, they cleaned up the original port of Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a bit of a mess at launch. But it's excellent now, and that's thanks in large part to Nixxes. So of course we'll see when it actually releases, but I'm pretty confident this PC port will be solid. Also, I want to make sure you're aware that Forbidden West is actually a sequel and not the first game in the Horizon series. A surprising number of people mentioned to me that they didn't realize Forbidden West is the second game. So if you haven't played the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn, I highly recommend you check it out. If you're at all interested in these games for the story and lore, which is a huge and awesome part of them, then you definitely need to play Zero Dawn first. It's already on PC and it often goes on sale, and you can even pick it up some places for like $10. Now, if you want to pick up a free copy of Forbidden West, West, I'm running a giveaway right now for 2 copies. You'll need to use the Gleam link below, and there's a bunch of different ways to get multiple entries, and I'll announce the winners on March 17th. Any location where the game is sold is eligible to win, and I'll contact you by email if you're one of the winners. Fake accounts will try to trick you in the comments, and they'll steal my profile picture and everything, so please don't respond to those. Once we have recommended specs, I'll throw that video up right here. Until then, you'll want to check out all the other Horizon projects in the works, like the confirmed online project and Netflix show, a rumored MMO, and a possible remaster of Zero Dawn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there in just a second.